Um, Obviously, there haven't been many games this year where rebounding hasn't been front and center for you guys as a need, but how have you guys kind of overcome this year that lack of a singular physical kind of presence like you've had in the past?
We've had to scrap.
Yeah.
We've had to, work our tails off. I mean, we do rebounding drills every day in practice. So we knew that, if we're going to play smaller, that was going to be, what it was going to take to win. And, so I think we've done a decent job of it, but we're really going to have a challenge tomorrow.
Is it a challenge to try harder than the other team without getting caught up in some of the little fouls that have affected a few games?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to be aggressive and do what you can. And I mean, sometimes rebounding, doesn't matter how hard you try, sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way.
Right.
When people are bigger and people are faster, it can be difficult sometimes, but that's all you can do. I mean, Coach Penn always says, if we're doing our best, if we're doing, what we're capable of and doing our jobs, then that's all I can ask for.
Are they popping you to the elbow more here the last couple of games on offense to try to give you driving lanes?
What do you mean by that?
Like instead of rolling into a post up, you're popping out to the elbow and they're feeding you there, and you've had an angle on the guy behind you to try to rip and go.
Yeah, I think that's kind of came organically though. To be honest with you, I think teams are trying different coverages, and so I think I'm just trying to read the game and see what I can get out of it. If I can get that guard on me in that kind of nail area, I like that matchup. So
Matt talked after the game about sometimes teams scheme to take away the short roll. Is that the guy helping in from the wing and coming up, or is it the way they space out their coverage up top?
It can be anything. It could be both. It could be that the low man comes over and takes the short roll. If it's early, then Braden has a skip pass. If it's later, then he throws it to me and I have a skip pass. Some teams have tried to switch it. Just the initial ball screen, and so we don't get that action. There's a bunch of different teams have gone zone. So I think at this point we've kind of seen everything teams have done, but it's a variety of things. Teams have tried a lot of different things.
You had the 2 assists on the threes. I forget a hockey assist to CJ where he drove to the middle with his left hand. Is that a read for you, or is that kind of predetermined from the play call?
Oh no, that's a read. Those are reads. I don't think I should have gotten the CJ one because typically on a 2-man side, he wants me to roll to the basket because there's a lot more help. And so I normally get my short rolls out of the 1-man sides. But that being said, no, I think on the other ones it was a 1-man side, and that is the read. If they help up, then I hit the corner every time. So.
It seems to come pretty natural at this point with all your experience this season doing it. Is that fair to say?
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, at this point in the season, I think it's natural for everybody. The guys have done a great job of, depending on who's rolling. If Will comes in the game, he's rolling, he's not short rolling, and so that guy has to fill behind. But the guys have done a great job of knowing that if I'm short rolling, I have to stay corner. So I think it's everybody. Everybody's playing natural at this point.
How big of a carrot is the double bye for the Big Ten tournament when you guys go to Illinois this weekend?
I think it's a big carrot. I mean, it's you always want to buy as many as you can. It gives us some more rest that we can lock in our first opponent.
Is there a little bit of a more hunger this year going into the Big Ten tournament? Last year, when you guys had an NCAA tournament to really focus on?
I don't think so. I think it's the same. I mean, we want to win. We want to win every game we go into, but like last year, I'd like to win. I'd like to win the Big Ten and the Big Ten tournament and go to the Final Four. So I don't think I'm ever checking anything. They're just saying, "Oh, let's lose this game so we can get rest," or "Let's this, that, or the other." I think I'm trying to win everything when I step on the floor.
As players, do you guys pay attention to NCAA seeding projections, stuff like that?
That's a question that I don't know. Me personally, I don't know. I think the coaches have talked a little bit. They talk a little bit about, especially at the beginning of the year, our non-conference schedule, getting those quad 1 wins and how important that is for seeding. But I really don't pay attention to it, no.
Would you kind of describe the experience of playing at Illinois? Because it seems like that's a team that the last few years you guys have had an especially intense relationship with.
It's just an intense game. It's like playing against Michigan State. They're going to be tough. They're going to be physical. They're going to be well coached. And so it's going to go. And it's going to be a grind when we get there.
Hey, man.